Hi Jay. Uh, this is a response to your video, As Old as You Feel. I don't really well, I have an opinion on this, but it's not really my own. It's not my copyrighted opinion. It's more a story I want to tell about a neighbor I used to have. And it was in the neighborhood I used to live, and there was a lot of old people there, very old people, 60, 70 upwards. And so you could say it's a very old neighborhood, I guess. And, well, I don't want to draw any stereotypes here, but a lot of the older people in that neighborhood, or let's say a majority, really wasn't that happy with things, with their lives and the world in itself somehow, because they all appeared very grumpy, and they acted grumpy towards you. And for example, there was this one old guy right in the street where I lived. No matter when you came outside, if you got in your car or whatever, when you went outside, he was standing in the window at his house, looking out of his window all day. You can see him looking out of the window. I don't know, nobody really knew why, but we sure noticed it, because as soon as somebody parked wrong in that street, he called the police. And thought that everybody who parked wrong in that street surely got their ticket because of him. And the thing is that a lot of the older people in that neighborhood really applauded him for doing that. He was sort of a hero for them. While a lot of other people, also older people, but a lot of younger people, really got well, enraged about that. And somehow he made that to his life purpose. And there was somebody else, though. I'm not saying everybody was like that in that neighborhood, but a lot. I would even say the majority. But there was somebody else, my direct neighbor. Her name was Lydia. And Lydia, she died 7 years ago, and she was 105 years old when she died. And she was totally different. Everybody loved this woman because she was so young in her mind. She was open to everything. She went out on the street, and if there were kids playing, there were not a lot of kids in that neighborhood, but some. And if she saw them playing, she would just go right to them and start talking to them, asking them questions, experiencing their lives, the lives of these kids that were almost 100 years younger than her. And she was always very happy. You never saw her in a bad mood. When you greeted her, she greeted back, which you couldn't say for everybody in that neighborhood. Especially not the man with the parking tickets. And we had this thing, every couple of months she would invite me over and we would order pizza. That was my Lydia pizza evening every couple of months. And I don't know, it's so hard to explain how she was, because she was such a happy and optimistic and open human being, that she was probably happier and opener than anybody in any age in that neighborhood. And she was also open, you know, it's often said that older people don't want anything to do with technology no more, or they can't record their VCR. well, she had a VCR and she knew how to program it, and she was totally open to everything, playful, every gimmick. And she once, I will never forget this. She ran over to my house and she holded her wrist up, and she had this wristwatch that she just bought, and she showed me her wristwatch, and it was just like a little LCD display on there and nothing else, just a very big yellow button. And then she said, "Sven, look, look," and she pushed a button and the wristwatch started talking. It's 11:015 and 33 seconds. It's 11:016 and 22 seconds. It was a pretty cool watch. And she was totally fascinated by that stuff. But a lot of the other people in the neighborhood who she showed that, especially the older people, they just went walla walla, thinking that's totally crazy, you know, to buy such a watch. But it sure helped her out. She was extremely short-sighted, and she couldn't read her watch no more. She had this wristwatch that she couldn't read no more, so she really didn't even know what time it was most of the time, unless there was somebody nearby who could tell her. And yeah, it helped her out, because now she got the time in words instead of in digits. And she yeah. And that's just one example of many, how fascinated she was about everything, about life and everything around her. And well, one day in our pizza nights, we talked about a lot. We always talked about a lot. She talked to me about when she went to the United States on a boat somewhere in the 20s, I think. I don't remember what the boat was called. I forgot the name of the boat. She said it so often, and I forgot the name. It wasn't Titanic. But anyway, she told me about a lot of stuff. World War I and II and so on, and she lived all through this. She lived, my God, she lived 100 years. And I once just asked her, I told her, when I'm as old as you, should I become that old, I wanna be just like her. That's what I said. And she right out of things said, the key is to always stay child. Up here. Up here, always stay a child. And, well,